election headquarters.
Probably. You've got a right to have your business or your yard, and it's very disruptive. I'd hate to be in that situation myself. And call your elected officials and tell them they need to communicate to the decision makers in Sacramento that we have a problem.
Well, did Mayor Lee Brand sort of pass the buck there when the business owner of High Quality Bakery asked the city to clean up the trash piling up behind his business? Well, city crews did clean up some of it, but Mayor Brand said Caltrans is responsible. So let's bring back our panel. Bill McEwen, Philip Teresi, and Tate Hill. Tate, I want to begin with you. Mayor Brand's response here. What do you make of it? Do you see it as passing the buck or that his hands are tied?
Well, there is, in that particular case of the business, there is a dual responsibility between the state and the city of Fresno. Of course, that's not the case for every business, and this is an issue throughout the entire city. But the city needs to make sure that they're maintaining our streets and making sure that businesses and residents can have a clean place to live. But also, I've seen in many cases where the state has not taken care of its responsibility, particularly in the downtown area.
Yeah, you know, Bill, we were having a good conversation about this during the break, really. $1 billion by Governor Newsom. It didn't help San Francisco, as you said, spending more money. So what's the solution here? If it's not money, because that's what I said. Money is the solution. Well, if it's not money, what is it?
There's no instant solution, because what we're talking about, what we see visibly and what upsets people and what hurts businesses are the actions of the hardcore homeless. And the hardcore homeless are very difficult to deal with. I think we actually do a good job with people that are, you know, missed a paycheck and end up on the street because they're motivated to get back under a roof. And families, they're motivated. We have great programs in place. They're getting help. What we're talking about is the visible and the hardcore homeless, and you're dealing with drug addiction, mental illness, other kinds of substance abuse. And what is society's batting average on these issues? It's not very high.
So instead of building shelters and maybe giving it to institutions that are like the Poverello House, maybe we give it to more institutions that are helping these people get clean, so to speak.
Well, there's certainly something to that and to the treatment of addiction and the treatment of mental illness. But I think that Mayor Brand's point that you've got to talk not just to the city but also to the state, this is important because it's the state of California that passed the so-called Homeless Bill of Rights and the Mental Health Bill of Rights during the Reagan administration, which was kind of the pre-runner of all of the problems that you see, especially in San Francisco and LA. Clint Olivier actually kind of made this distinction in a piece he wrote a couple of years ago. You have the homeless, the person who missed a paycheck, who's down on their luck, who's going to avail themselves of every service to get back on their feet. And then the criminal vagrants, who are the people who have chosen this lifestyle and use those same services to facilitate continuing in this lifestyle. I don't know how you make that distinction, but once you've made it, there's two different roads to handle those people, to help those people.
Yeah, I mean, it's a complicated issue, and one, there's no quick fix.
And there's one more point I want to make, though, is that for, county jails throughout California and the state prison system have become the mental health treatment centers for people with problems, and that is not the way to address this either, but that's the system we have today.
And Governor Newsom wants to eliminate one of those. That is a different topic for a different day. I want to get to this because we obtained video of it. Earlier this week, we saw Jerry Dyer's campaign billboard be vandalized. It said racist murder on there. Tate, political hit, or this is what it looks like?
No, I mean, this is vandalism, and a person can have a...
So it's not a politically motivated hit?
Well, yes, it is a politically motivated hit and vandalism at the same time. And I think if people have their opinions about a person or their viewpoints, there's a way in which we have options for a person to be able to express that. But destroying someone's billboards, you know, spray painting someone's building is not the way to do it.
This is getting ugly.
It's getting real ugly. I think it's political by virtue of having been a Dyer for mayor billboard.
Yes.
My suspicion is that what we've got is a gangbanger, a tagger, somebody who's not thinking about the mayor's race, that just doesn't like Jerry Dyer.
You really think it's that?
I really do. You look at the people that come out and protest Dyer and wear their pink shirts and wave their milkshakes around and scream "Fire, liar, Dyer." I'm not sure that any of them are physically capable of scaling that billboard.
So
Are you buying that? I don't know if I'm buying
So
that.
what's interesting to me is the video. It doesn't look like it was a Fresno police camera. It looks like
Somebody
it
was
a
ready.
handheld video,
Yes.
either an accomplice or it could have been the tagger's own video.
Exactly.
So clearly they wanted it to be out there. They want Fresno saying, "Who is that guy?" They want that kind of attention. The point I want to make is the Dyer campaign, with its statement, it took this act and it gave the campaign an opportunity to remind people that his campaign slogan is "One Fresno."
So you think it helped him almost?
Well, and Andrew Jans can come out. I'm on the very high side. This is terrible, shouldn't be defacing anything, and you know what, it happened to me, my wife's business, so I think it helped both candidates in a way.
I tell you what, Bill, you're so animated. I think turkey did wonders for you this week. I tell you what, I want to have some fun with my panel because I am thankful that every week we do have a panel to carry on our conversations. Yeah, we don't always agree, but that's the good part. So, what are you politically thankful for this holiday season? Bill, I'll start with you.
It's real simple that Fresno politics has not devolved into national politics, and we have a lot of good people here in office, a lot of good people running for office, and we have a lot of great leaders at our nonprofits. So, yes, we have problems in Fresno, but we have a lot of hope that we can really move forward and be a better city.
Philip?
First of all, I agree with that. I think that's beautiful. I love that Fresno is as ready to talk as it is. At the national level, I'm incredibly grateful for President Trump for never leaving us for want of something to talk about. And I'm grateful for the Democratic lineup because they gave us the Tulsi Gabbard workout videos.
Tate?
I would say, you know, one, that we have the right and the ability to vote. And we have that opportunity to exercise our civic duty. And then also here locally, there are opportunities for you to have a real impact in your city and your community. And I see people all over our city doing that.
So, Philip, this is probably more for you. So you're meaning to tell me that you're not politically thankful for stuff like this. Take a look. No chuckle?
I love it.
That is President Trump's own tweet where he used Rocky's body and, of course, his head.
I think that's how he sees himself.
Oh, you think that's how he sees himself?
I think he looked at it, went, ha, and hit retweet.
I think we have a president with a little bit of a twisted sense of humor.
And he had the other one, remember, after the physical?
Yeah.
You know, with the X-ray and
that's
the
what this was about.
The Superman cape.
That's what this was about.
Underneath.
We got to have fun, all right? Thank you guys. Thankful for you guys for being here. But what am I thankful for? That's up next in our Tweet of the Week.